Whew, okay, I'm gonna level with you guys for a second before we get started. These 4 a.m. wake-ups are really starting to get to me, and we are nowhere near done with this tournament. I have been taking beauty naps between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. and then waking up to work on these recaps for you. Truly, I am sacrificing everything for the sake of your entertainment, so you better like the video. Anywho's, the third day of the Blast World Finals has come and passed. We are into the playoff stage. Our 2 quarterfinal matchups took place, Mouz versus Vitality. Vitality continuing to prove me wrong that despite having a stand-in, ZywOo is in fact just too strong. And then we followed it up with Faze Clan taking on Team Spirit, one of the rare times this year that these two teams have faced each other in a major series. And frankly, what else can I say other than that it delivered? By far the most entertaining series of the event so far, which leaves me, the humble recapper, with a lot to go over. So let's not waste any more time. Before we get started, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm, so thank you for doing it. Also, going to continue to plug this all week long. Please come and join our brand new community Discord, top link in the description. Quite a few of you have already joined up. It's been nice to interact with you guys directly. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff there going forward, such as tournament watch-alongs, more engagement with my live stream, which you can also check out in the link in the description. And in general, hopefully we can help create a nice space for you guys to hang out, talk about Counter-Strike, talk with me personally, and all that good stuff in between. Anyways, check it out, become one of the gremlins today, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this first series. So listen, full transparency, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I've been talking about the last few days how I keep expecting Vitality to remember that they're playing with a stand-in and suddenly be much less of a threatening team, but I don't know, I guess having ZywOo, Spinks, and Flamesy enables you to do quite a lot, and Jax hasn't been so outwardly horrible as to hold the team back so far. The other thing that I've gone wrong, apparently, is believing in Mouz, because time and time again, they have proven me wrong in having faith in them, which really sucks because I do, in my heart of hearts, believe in this lineup so much. But god damn it, if there was ever a time for you guys to make a deep run in a tournament, it would be when Na'Vi goes out in last place, leaving you with an opportunity to check notes, beat a Vitality missing one of their most important support pieces, and then play a G2 team that are nothing if not inconsistent. Literally, there was never a more open field for Mouz to win a big tournament in the run-up to the major than right now. And what did they do? They walked up to this series and won 12 total goddamn hell-ass rounds across 2 maps. I mean, they got shellacked by Vitality. And frankly, the first place we have to start is talking about Torji and JimFat, because this is like unacceptably bad from the two of them as individuals. Jimmy especially has been nothing but consistent. Even when Mouz have had their issues and bombed out of events, Jimmy has been like the stalwart piece, the stoic pillar in this team, preventing things from being like disastrously bad. And then you look at the individuals for this tournament, and Jimmy and Torji are 2 of the 3 worst rated players at this event. Jimmy at a 0.8 rating over 6 maps. Torji right there with Ultimate as the worst opper in this event with a 0.75 rating. This is so bad from these 2 individually. You know who's ranked above them at this event in terms of individual form? Literally every in-game leader. Legit. Apex, Snacks, Kerrigan, Chopper, aka 4 of the most 35-year-old boomer gamers you will ever see operate a mouse. All better than Jimmy and Torji. Every member of Na'Vi, who mind you, just played their worst statistical event in the last like 6 months, is ranked above these 2. Cadian, with his goddamn broken elbow, is averaging nearly a 1.0 rating over 4 maps. Like, what the fuck? I'm taking so much time to harp on the individual failings here because it all starts with that. We know the tactics for Mouz are good enough, and they kept trying to run their standard playbook. We know Shuhi's gonna call a good game, and Shuhi himself has not been bad. Xerxian, Brolin, also very good as individuals throughout this event, though Brolin did have that terrible series yesterday. But Jimmy is too important to their CT side setup for him to be this missing, and it's even worse for Torji, who was already someone like Brokey, who is inconsistent game to game as an opper. But when you have the responsibility of wielding that much money, when you are the biggest economic focus on this team, You cannot, under any circumstance, perform this badly. That's what makes analysis about this series so difficult, because you go back and watch the tape. I strongly encourage you to do so. It's just Vitality taking space, winning duels. Spinks was incredible. Zywoo was incredible. Flames was incredible. And Jax and Apex just came along for the ride through nades. Jax had like a couple clutches here and there, a couple good entries, but the important part was he wasn't as bad as the Mouz players. This veto was also awful if you were Mouz. Dust 2 and Mirage, Vitality's 2 best maps? You're going to take a Vitality down a man to the 2 most puggy maps in the game and just let them not have to worry about team cohesion or tactics and just try and frag out? Like, the gall to pick Mirage into the best Mirage team in the world. Mouz, what are we doing with this veto? Like, honestly, that's a good point, so I'm gonna go off on this for a little bit. The map pool for Mouz is atrocious when you look at it for the last 3 months. They are tryable on every map they play. They don't have anything close to a 65% win rate on any map. They play Inferno, Nuke, and Mirage the most, and they are not dominant on any of them. And Astralis showed yesterday that their Vertigo is definitely vulnerable. Dust 2 is atrocious, same thing with Ancient, and they permaban Anubis. How do you guys get an advantage in any veto with this map pool? Honestly, I know you guys permaban Anubis, I get that, but at the same time, there's a certain point where if you want to be the best team in the world, you have to be willing to take some risks. Looking at this matchup, there's nowhere good for you to go. Over the last 3 months, Vitality don't lose on Nuke, they don't lose on Dust 2, and again, probably the best Mirage team in the world. They're good at Vertigo, probably better than you guys, and they're good at Inferno. The one map Vitality have been vulnerable on as of late is Anubis. 8 matches over the last 3 months. They have a 37% win rate on it. You know they're not going to pick Ancient, it's their permaban. There's a certain point where you have to be willing to take that kind of risk in the veto and say, hey, we don't play Anubis, but we know how to play it. We boot camped it. We studied the tape and see that it's a vital hole in Vitality's game. We have to take a chance. Let's try it. Or at least something. But this veto otherwise is god awful. Yeah, I don't really feel the need to litigate this any longer. This was 2 stomps. There's really nothing to look at. Vitality continued to defy expectations in this event, so I guess I'm going to stop underrating them. They're one of the strongest teams here right now. As for Mouz, this is a pretty unforgivable loss. Alright, enough of that. We can actually talk about some damn good Counter-Strike for the rest of this video. This Faze vs Spirit series was fantastic. Easily the best of 3 of this event. One of the best in recent memory, if I'm being fully honest, because we got a little bit of everything. Donk, Shiro, and Zontix were wonderful. Spirit weren't making dumb mistakes on their T side. And importantly, Faze met them and went blow for blow throughout pretty much all of this series. The first half of Mirage was as close as it could get, although in the end, Spirit did pull away to win that one. But then Anubis was so close. It felt like each team just took their turn throughout this game, winning huge stretches of rounds, going on 5-round streaks, only for the other to battle back, leaving us in a double overtime thriller where, again, the overtimes just kept going back and forth. Every time Spirit won a round, Faze would fight back. It went all the way to the wire. Spirit managed to pull it out in the end to win this series, but Faze were right in it. It was only a couple of gunfights that made the difference at the end from us seeing a potential third map. Honestly, I think the first place I want to start is talking about Zontix specifically, because this was a great series from him as an individual, and his impact was instrumental in Spirit's ability to win these rounds down the stretch. Not only was he getting very proactive on the T side, something that he's definitely struggled with over the last couple of months, but his ability to anchor on the CT side on Mirage specifically was so valuable. The 2-man game that him and Donk play, Catwalk and Connector holding mid, is probably one of my favorites to watch in the entire game on any map. If you are studying how to play Mirage better, watch how Zontix and Donk play off each other. The way Donk gets hyper aggressive, pushes up the top mid all the time, and Zontix just plays such a good backup role on the Catwalk. The way they play off each other, take engagements, flash each other in and out, it's beautiful synergy. It's one of the reasons I've been such a staunch defender of Zontix over his struggles lately, because when he's on point, the way that he accents Donk and Shiro is perfect. Those three have such good synergy, probably some of the best synergy in the world right now that isn't Na'Vi. On that first half of Mirage, his multi-killing was instrumental in Spirit getting some very key rounds, doing great work with the M4 early on, and then he had that fantastic round towards the middle of the half where him and Donk are in mid, Donk on the Deagle, him on the P250, they're scrapping with Brokey around mid, Donk gets the 1D but gets taken out right after, and then Zontix follows it up with two incredible P250 shots, absolutely deleting ROMs at the top of mid. That was a full save that those two blew wide open to steal a round right underneath Faze's nose. And man, what else can we say about Donk at this point? If you're not convinced that he's not the best player this year, I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, Zaiwu and Muncie have their own very good cases, I can't deny that. But Donk does as much as they do without the benefit of how strong the op is. And that is so incredible, especially when you consider how fucking aggressive this kid is, dude. Like, I can't imagine how frustrating it is watching Donk run up to top mid as a CT on Mirage and just bang you out before you can even peek window. And it gets even worse when Spirit are in this form, because if you take out Donk, you trade him out, he takes one with him. Zontix and Shiro are right behind, catwalk and window. You're not getting mid control for free. I mean, it's been said before, but the way Donk multi-kills just looks unnatural. The amount of rounds in this game and on Anubis where it's like, okay, Donk, go get us 2 kills. And he's like, yeah, no, I got you. Those early Deagle rounds on the first half, the second half pistol round on the T side where he just runs straight through A into CT, takes 3 kills, just slaughters Faze. He's just so good, man. And it's been so disappointing to see Donk continue to be as excellent as he has been all year, while Spirit was struggling in those other events. Right now, Spirit are playing very good. But, like I said, we can't take away the fact that FaZe Clan came to play in this series. There's no doubt about that. Even though it was a 6-6 first half, there were definitely a handful of close rounds where if Spirit don't clutch up to get the defuses, then yeah, FaZe could have actually won this half pretty handily. Even on the switch to the CT side in the second half, Spirit definitely were in control of the momentum throughout the rest of this game, but there were key moments where FaZe really showed some good stuff. The first place we gotta start with is Kerrigan. Kerrigan had random moments throughout this series where he was just like really good in his aim duels, like winning just straight up 1v1s against some of the best players on Spirit. Which is weird, because obviously Kerrigan's not the guy to do that usually, but like, he had like a really clean one tap onto Donk, he had multiple engagements where he would like push into apps and just take over. He had that crazy triple kill on round 18 where he starts off, he goes into mid from catwalk, hops up over the smoke and just eliminates Zontix. He rotates back around B, he's waiting to see what Spirit are going to do. Eventually he takes the silent boost into apps, just pushes straight at Spirit, just pushes to clear apps, takes out Magic's clean as can be, and then gets the double on Shiro. Like, just those were great engagements regardless of the perception of Kerrigan's skill level. Like, those were elite fights. And it's cool too because it added this another layer where like 2 rounds later, Chomper essentially does the same thing. Both the old in-game leaders have key triple kill rounds to win rounds for their team down the stretch, which I think is really interesting. The last 6 rounds of the game literally went back and forth. FaZe winning 1, Spirit winning 1. In the end, Spirit just pulled ahead because of the early lead they ran up at the beginning of the half. This could have been much closer had maybe FaZe took another pistol round or won a 4-spy on the T side maybe, but in the end, Shiro, Zontix, and Donk couldn't be denied a 13-10 win, and Spirit go up 1-0 as we head into Anubis. And obviously this game went really long, and because of that, we're going to go over a handful of these overtime rounds so I can really hammer home just how back and forth this game was, and highlight how Spirit pulled ahead in the long run. Firstly, we're looking at the last round of regulation here, and you may look at this buy in front of you and think that Spirit have the overwhelming advantage to send this to overtime, and normally you would be right. FaZe have 1 M4, an MP9, 2 Deagles, a 5.7, and a Dream. And honestly, so far, you're getting exactly what you want here for Spirit. Donk gets the immediate trade onto Rops, the only rifle down, and the only person left on A is Kerrigan with a Deagle. Oh my god. Those 2 Deags from Kerrigan made this round so scary. Suddenly, Spirit are in a 2v4. Kerrigan does go down eventually, so it's a 2v3, but it's given enough time for all the FaZe players to rotate, and Chopper and Shiro are split. If Chopper got found out in mid, this would have been game over. but Chopper plays the intel perfectly to slip behind the enemy lines. As Shiro scoots in to try and get the bomb down under duress, that's when Chopper makes the back pinch through camera, gets 2 clutch picks to equalize, and that opens the door for Shiro to haul ass with the minute left on the clock, rotated to B, and Spirit managed to get to overtime. But, whoo boy, scary. I don't know why Kerrigan has decided that this is the series he's going to multi-frag on, but this is the series he's going to do it. In proof of point, we go into the first round of overtime. Spirit are trying to push up mid, and by God, it's Kerrigan with a steel chair! Takes out Chopper and Donk, an unassisted double kill that puts FaZe Clan up 5v3 in this round. And you think, no Donk, your entry gets so much weaker, what is Spirit gonna do? And then Zontix comes out of nowhere, equalizes the game with a huge double onto Brokey and Rops in A. As they regroup to take the site, they're pushed into A main. Shiro takes a last repeat towards E-Box, catches out Rain as Magix finishes out the god himself with a Molotov, leaving Frozen in a 1v3. And listen, you know, Frozen may win those occasionally, but not today. Spirit take the first round of overtime. We flash forward into the next round, and Kerrigan can't keep getting away with this. He takes another swing into mid, gets another opening double kill. This time Shiro does immediately trade him out, so the impact is a little bit less, but still, that is 6 uncontested picks from Kerrigan across 3 rounds. Madman. Spirit slow things way down after this, hoping to catch a FaZe player out of position to try and gain the advantage back. An interesting note as we watch this round wind down a little bit is that Anubis has been going through an interesting shift in its meta. Right now, teams are prioritizing the A site more than ever, whereas previously there was a lot of attention put towards mid, using that as your jumping off point to split through B, split through A. In general, the mid presence was just so important. But now a lot of teams are focusing on A takes right out the gate or going A later in rounds, whereas previously a lot of times things would end on B more often than not. Anyway, Spirit are crawling towards A in the long run. They're really starting to run low on time. Spirit love to do this, just leave like 10 seconds left to figure the round out or not. Robs is tucked away on site behind the pillar. He gets bombed out by every nade known to goddamn man, and that gives Spirit a chance to try and get the bomb down. Magix drops the smoke in front of the camera stairs, dives in, but all the FaZe players are right there. The smoke gets naded open. Brokey dives in with a knife. The round goes to FaZe in a matter of seconds because Magix couldn't get to a safe plant location. Utter chaos, but in the end, the round goes to FaZe. We're tied up 13-13, and unfortunately this time, Kerrigan, destroyer of worlds, owner of mid, is taken out right away by Magix, ending his reign of tyranny. What's interesting to talk about as Spirit creep back towards the late B hit is that Donk took a lot of damage in that initial swing by Kerrigan. He's down to like 26 health, so him and Shiro swap places. Donk takes the op because he's good enough to use it turns out, and a full health Shiro can do more damage with the rifle in this exact situation. So they leave Donk to lurk in mid, and Donk, who clearly fears nothing, starts to creep through mid, past camera to back pick into B through CT spawn with the op. Meanwhile, the nades are out, the B take is on, the FaZe players from A are rotating in behest to help their teammates. Little do they know that the flank lurk Donk op is waiting in the wings. Donk gets 1 pick before getting traded out, and honestly, if you die to a guy with an op, right here, rotating from A to B in the CT spawn, I would be so pissed. But it works, gives Spirit enough time to work their way to the bomb site. Chopper gets a nice double kill to blow it open, and that's a clean round out of Spirit. This back and forth nature of the overtime continues throughout pretty much the rest of the match. Just in the end, I think the difference for Spirit was they were better at closing out some of these late round situations. The low man gunfights were simply going their way. And it turns out this man on your screen is just an unparalleled X factor as you watch this final round play out. This was a beautiful A execute from Spirit. The nades come in, they take site control perfectly, they bomb out the back of the site, and then you know what? Donk is just one of those guys when it comes to closing out the game. Anyway, Spirit pull it off, they beat FaZe 2-0, they booked themselves a semi-final appearance, going back to a Blastfall Finals rematch against Astralis, which should be entertaining considering how well these two teams are playing. For FaZe Clan, yeah, it sucks to get eliminated, but hey, there's a lot of positive to take away from your play here at this tournament, I think. You guys were incredible in this series against Spirit. You came very close to forcing a map 3, and who knows what happens there. I think you guys looked a lot better as a team. There were good moments out of your individuals, and just like some of the other big name teams who are exiting early, you now have the benefit of an extended break to boot camp and prep for the major, which is really all that matters, right? Anyways, that's going to do it for me today, guys. Our other semifinals tomorrow is G2 versus Vitality, so that's going to be a shit show, an entertaining one at that, probably. So we'll be here to cover that as soon as things are done. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm, so thank you for doing it. These videos are powered by Advanced.gg. Take a look at the description down below, check out their website, browse any of their excellent products, and if you decide to make a purchase, you use my code LIONS10 at checkout for 10% off. Thank you to Advanced. I also work with Refrag. Refrag are by far the best self-improvement platform in CS. If you want to take your game to the next level, consider getting a Refrag subscription. And if you do, use my code LION15 for 15% off. Thank you to Refrag. Shout out to my channel members, Justin, Jesse, Furley, Bubblesj, Dr. Cocktor, and Milan Berta. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so at the link in the description down below. Support me directly. Thank you so much. Also, check me out on Twitch. I stream Sunday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ 2. And lastly, come join the new community Discord. Hang out with all of us. Do it. You got nothing else to lose. I know you don't have friends because you're a CS player just like me. Anyways, I love you. I will be your one friend. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you soon with another video. Peace.